I'm not doing air fryer as the. I'm not doing it as the opening. I'm not doing it.
Do you not? I was just asked if you had one.
Papa, 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 papa.
Popcorn pundits in your air fryer.
They're for students and fucking idiots. That's
Popping
what
and popping and popping.
Don't
Yeah.
get me fucking started.
Oh, I love an air fryer. Right. It's your Popcorn Pundits, week 68.
Excellent.
Three of us like to talk about films. We like to tell you about it. We then judge it. You tell us what you decide whether we've judged it correctly or not, and then you wait till next week. Simple as that.
That's it.
That's it.
Done.
That's in a can.
Papa, no.
Who are we?
Go on. You. Well, that's.
Oh, you're James Michael Mocrone.
Hi.
This is Nikki Smart.
Hi.
And I am
Hi.
Peter Ungar. And we are the Popcorn Pundits.
We are the Popcorn Pundits, and
Kinda.
we are here for you.
I've got a feeling this is an odd week.
It's
Is
always
it?
an odd week.
When is it not, Unga?
Yeah, it's just that we've kind of done some
Yeah.
big chats about some epic films. Like we
We
had Wicked
have.
recently,
We
but
have.
that was like massive.
Massive.
And then we had the Brutalist.
Which was gigantic.
How's your feeling of the Brutalist now? Are you still kind of feeling the same about it, or has it settled down a bit with you?
It's definitely settled down, but it's something that I'm deciding how long am I going to give it until I watch it again.
Because did you not say you would not watch it again? Because that was going to be my question. Because you said when you reviewed it that you wouldn't be watching it again.
I did,
And
didn't I?
I'm already quite itching to watch it again.
Yeah, you see, I'm not. It's weird, isn't it? I'm
You
not.
just said you were.
I didn't. I said I'm deciding when I'm going to go and see it again.
Yeah, which is
That's not.
an indication of there is going to
There
be
might be.
another.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm
You
just
are.
wondering. I'm just wondering.
But
Just wondering whether your mood on it has changed. Because for me, it is starting to sit as a wonderful piece of art.
oh, it's a masterpiece. It's a complete masterpiece. But whether I'm willing to watch it yet or not is another matter. That's as far as I'm willing to go with that one.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you.
So we went to see a film at the cinema this week.
Would you like to explain what the format of the programme or of the podcast is for people that haven't?
Literally was doing it. Literally was doing it, and then
Yeah.
you interrupted me.
That's very nice of you. Let's carry on.
Unbelievable. Literally doing it.
I'm just letting you know how I've thought about how it's going so far. Really? Just.
So we went to see the cinema
Yeah.
together, and we
Yes.
held hands and watched a film.
That's right.
And we're going to give you a review of that in a minute.
Yeah.
You set me some homework,
That's
which
right.
I watched,
You
and
did.
I'm going to give you
Oh,
a
did you
review
watch
of it
it?
later on.
Oh, it's okay. Good.
But first and foremost,
Yes.
I'm going to do the top 10 films in the UK and Ireland. Honestly, it's getting ridiculous.
Isn't
We're
it
going to have
just?
to put like a screen
Yeah.
between the two
Oh,
of you.
I'm going to bring a riding crop.
Oh, do you know what? We could be
I've
like
got
Simon
one.
and Garfunkel.
Yeah, I've got one
Of
of
course
the
you do.
training ones, you know, the long ones that you can whip and they make a cracking
I don't need to be that long, I just need to be this long. This long. Interrupted.
I've got one with a hand on the end as well.
Right, should we crack on and do this?
Yes.
Sorry, producer, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Waiting.
Number 10, Moana 2.
Yes. I saw the first one on Sunday.
Is that the first time we've ever seen it?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Number 9, Companion.
We
Did
saw
you,
that.
Did you go back?
Yes.
You're gonna take Sophie
Yes.
and other people.
I've seen it twice so far.
Yeah, and second time,
Second time's actually better.
but more comedic.
Oh, so much funnier. So much
Yeah,
funnier.
I kind of thought that'd be the case.
But also you find that Jack Quaid's sort of descent into completeness of git becomes a lot more relevant as well because you're just waiting for him to do it as well.
And I think my kind of issue with it when I watched it was trying to work out whether I was being smarter or less smart than the director. And
Very
actually,
true.
yeah, and I think with that gone,
Yeah.
I think it would turn into much more of a comedy.
There was a beautiful moment. For those of you who haven't listened to our review of Companion, how
What the
dare
hell are you doing?
Yeah, how dare
What-
you?
what
And
are
for
you
those of you
doing?
who haven't seen the film yet, go and see the film because it is very funny. It's a little bit brutal, but it's also very, very funny as well. But there's a beautiful moment in it, which I clocked the first time, which we can kind of start talking about it now. There's a beautiful moment. After watching it the second time, I laughed out loud, where he's explaining to his girlfriend what she is. We still won't give it away completely just yet because it's at the cinema. But he's explaining to his girlfriend what she is. And he goes, I'm really sorry if that's hard for you to process. And then a little wry grin goes on the side of his face. And nobody in the audience laughed. And I just burst out laughing immediately because I knew exactly what he was getting at. So there's lovely little in-jokes in it. But now that if you watch it the second time, it's a...
I actually think you laughed out loud the first time you
Probably
saw it.
did,
that bit.
yeah.
We both did have a guffaw.
I think so,
Without
yes.
doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 8, Becoming Led Zeppelin. Is it a movie?
Is it? I think it's a documentary.
So it's interviews, performances, and never-before-seen footage providing insight into the origins of Led Zeppelin and their meteoric rise to the musical stardom.
So it's not a movie.
It's not a movie. Carry on.
Number 7.
Yes.
I was getting excited now.
I know I can see you there. Because it's 7 weeks on release as well at number 7.
Yeah. And number 7, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I haven't seen it. I want to see
Sonic 7.
Sonic 7.
As it was 4 last week, wasn't it? If you recall.
It was.
Incorrectly typed.
A 2.
Haven't seen it yet, but I've heard amazing things about it. Haven't seen 1 or 2 yet, though. Have you seen 1 or 2?
Yes.
And? Jim Carrey, isn't it?
Yeah, not my bag, but
No.
it's but I can understand the
Okay.
enjoyment of it. Number 6. Number 6.
Number 6.
The Brutalist.
Yes.
People have been turned off by the length of time, innit?
The problem is when you get a massive epic like that, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. So you've got to balance up the difference between it being an epic masterpiece or being a commercial success.
I just freaked out. So this is actually the first time I've gone through this top 10. I just saw number 1 and it just freaked me out. So.
Oh no!
Hello, here we are.
Go on.
Number 5 with a beautiful book ending.
Go on.
September 5.
There you go. You love that, don't you?
It just makes me
You
happy.
really do love that.
There is something about
It's not things in life that make
symmetry.
you happy.
Yeah, there is a front and an end and a comfy middle. I can't beat it.
So this is a Skarsgård film. It's Peter Skarsgård's in it. During 1972 Munich Olympics, an American sports broadcasting crew find themselves thrust into covering the hostage crisis involving the Israeli athletes.
I have to say, looking at the trailer, it does look quite gripping.
It looks amazing, and it's the conflict between the sports presenters and the news presenters,
Yes.
and they're kind of fighting for the right to kind of talk about the.
And there's a lovely moment in the trailer where they turn around, where they're obviously quite pleased with themselves that the footage they're actually be able to get out to the general public, and then it's a slow realization where they're looking at through the windows of these oppressors and they're going, have they got a television as well? Are they watching what we're reporting?
Yeah.
And you think they're giving everything away.
Yeah.
And that's obviously the true story. So hopefully there's not going to be too many twists and turns in it that we haven't seen before. Maybe.
Oh no, I think it's going to be quite accurate to the actual what happened.
There's going to be no aliens in it or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I
Just
don't
checking.
think
No, or a big if.
Okay, so number 4.
Macbeth,
Four.
David Tennant and Cush Jumbo. Shit, Moley fucked it.
Who's at them?
I don't know. No,
I think you said it very well.
I
think
said
you said
Dumbo.
To be fair though, I would read that as Dumbo as well, to be fair.
It's just too many words.
So it's
Chris Jumbo.
Cush Jumbo,
Cush.
who is an actress.
Actress, yeah.
Yeah,
And what's she been in? She's been in loads of TV stuff, hasn't she?
So she was in The Good Wife, and the spin-off series of that, The Good Fight. Sorry, I did a James and interrupted you then.
It's all right. I gave you a poignant pause.
Mid-Anne. And she was most recently June Lenker in the Apple TV Plus series Criminal Record.
I haven't seen that either.
You recognise her without a doubt. And you know,
David, he's been around, hasn't he?
You know David.
Yeah, apparently he's got 6 toes on his left foot.
I don't know where to go with that.
I thought I'd just give you that.
How many toes has he got on his right foot?
5.
Are you sure about that?
We'll wait for the producer to find some facts about it in a minute.
I've seen the photo of the reason why he's called David Tennant. I've not been looking at his
I know he's got
thing.
2 hearts, because all Doctor Who's have got 2 hearts.
Oh, right, okay. Number 3, Mufasa, The Lion King. But the Macbeth does actually look really good. I know you don't like stage
No,
performance.
I've heard
But it's
it's
one of
a-
those stripped back, white stages. And he's
Don't get me
just
wrong, I
all
do like a
black.
stage performance. I am quite partial to the theatre, and I go to theatre on a regular basis. However, it is that sort of you're mixing genres when you're starting to do this. That's the only thing I'm bringing to the table on that.
Okay, well, you're bringing art to the masses, one or the other.
Yes.
Number 2, A Complete Unknown. It's still up there, isn't it?
It's still up there,
That's
like a
pretty good.
rolling stone.
I mean, you guys gave it a 9.2.
Oh, I like them, and so they should do.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I loved
is.
it. I absolutely
I
loved it.
can't wait to see it again.
I wonder who's going to see it. Do you reckon it's the Crusties? I think we're both looking really old today.
Do you think so?
I think so, yeah. I looked in the mirror earlier on. I was just
Yeah.
like, my beard's got a bit too long.
Yeah.
And then my hair's got a bit longer than I normally have it shaved. And then
Okay.
you walked in, I went, oh, so's James.
Is it not James who normally goes off on tangent mid top 10?
I think we finished, didn't we?
No,
Oh, no.
you haven't said number 1.
I've got to do my homework, haven't I?
Number 1.
That freaked me out when I saw that at the
I
top.
did it totally on purpose.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll come back to that in a minute. That's a finger on a hand for a long time. Number 1 is an animation called DogMan.
Yes.
Dog Space Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With Pete Davidson and Ricky Gervais.
Is it?
Apparently so.
Oh, well, Ricky Gervais is a dogman. A local Marlovian.
He does like a good canine, doesn't he?
He does, a big one. He
Yes.
likes the big dogs, not such a fan of the small ones.
He's given mine to a belly rub in the past.
Has he?
And they're not particularly massive either. And the dogs as well. Hey!
Woohoo! I knew that was coming. I could see you trying to change your sentence to fit that in.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We've got an innuendo from you for at least, 12 seconds.
Exactly.
That's not bad.
Was there any facts coming on that?
There was one, but my computer suddenly decided to have a moment.
Okay.
Isla Fisher is in it, and Pete Davidson, as you said. Maggie Wheeler, who does the voice of Janice in Friends. And I thought I saw somewhere that Matt Berry was in it, but I think that was a different film.
Oh, you said that last week. You talked about Janice last
No,
week.
Matt Berry is in Wild Robot.
Wild Robot.
Yeah.
Wild Robot didn't turn up on our production meeting earlier on.
Didn't it?
We're going to talk about this, aren't we? I haven't said anything about it. I want to talk about. Oh, this episode's going to get better. I thought this was going to be a pile of horseshit, but actually, it's going to get a load better.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Awesome.
What did I do wrong?
Nothing.
You-
You
What is
you
that?
never
What's
do anything wrong,
conscience?
producer. You're in charge.
Put Wild Robot on the itinerary.
Yes,
Oh no,
yes,
we just didn't say that James was going to review it when we were talking about what was going to be reviewed.
No,
earlier
we
on.
didn't.
We didn't.
No.
No.
Anyway.
that's your
Oh,
top
well,
10.
hopefully I am part of this week. Am I not? Maybe the letters in the post.
We mentioned it to you, but you didn't listen to us.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Did you say that?
We did say it,
Did
but
you?
you didn't.
Yes, we did.
In that case, can we edit this bit out?
Yeah,
It makes-
exactly.
Yeah, of course,
they
absolutely
won't
fine.
listen
It makes
to
me
it.
look really selfish
Exactly.
and narcissistic about something which I really want to talk about. I didn't even listen to.
Right, so there you have it. That's your top 10 in the UK.
I think that went really smoothly.
Perfect. You can
Best one ever.
You can tell we've been doing it 68 weeks.
Oh no, actually, that was the top 10 in the UK and Ireland, according to the people that do it normally really badly.
Yes,
As of what date, though?
It's 2025. They've actually got the year right for a
And the
change.
day and the month.
Yeah. Okay. That's up until this Monday, the 10th of February.
Hmm.
Right, there we go. Should we talk about the movies we went to see at the cinema, and then we can get on to the good stuff?
Let's do that, shall we?
Okay, cool. You, me, and Sophie went to the cinema, and we went to see a film called Heart Eyes.
Well, we didn't go and see a film called Heart Eyes. We went to see Scream Unseen, and it just happened to be the film Heart Eyes.
Well, oh god, that's even worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I really wanted it to be something else.
I know.
I've never been disappointed. I've never been disappointed in a Scream Unseen, but yeah, when I found out it wasn't Monkey, I was really devastated.
Monkey's
I've
next
been
week.
so
Don't-
excited. To
Keep
see
your powder
Monkey.
dry, Monkeys next week.
We don't know that. It's a Scream Unseen. Can't ruin it for the listeners and the viewers.
No, you can't.
But
But,
we
it's
just
next
did.
week.
No, you're right. It's next week. It's on Monday.
It's on Monday
And
at the
there's about
cinema.
6 screen seats left in the
That's
cinema.
right, exactly.
All front row though.
All front row.
Don't know, you want to be front row for Monkey. There's a lot of blood.
There's going to be a lot of blood. Now, let's crack on with this week's film now instead of looking to the future. Let's look
Okay.
into the present
Let's
day.
do that.
Yes, indeed. So, ever so often, the fabulous people at Odeon Cinema like to tantalise you with a film that they're not going to give away the title of the movie. They give away it's an unseen screening. Sometimes it's called Screen Unseen. On this occasion, it's called Scream Unseen, and the reason for that is because it's a film that hasn't been released yet. They give you certain clues. You try to look at the clues either through X or through other social media, and if you haven't got a membership, I think that the tickets are about £5 or something like that, and you don't know what the film is until the curtains open. Is that correct, Peter?
Apart from the thing that the M rather than the N on Scream is indicates it's going to be a horror.
That's right.
And we gave 2 clues last week.
James tried to act really smart and got them both wrong.
Exactly.
The clues were the OG7.
Yeah.
Which apparently are the initials of the director, which
That's
was OK or something.
Yeah.
And the second clue you had was 69-94/99.
Right.
And then actually the third clue, which we didn't say last week,
Yeah.
was an honorary feast.
Honorary feast. Right. So what are the answers then?
So clue 1, the OG
Yes.
on 7 was Christopher London co-wrote co-writer of Heart Eyes,
Yes.
was originally planned to be the director of Scream 7.
That's right.
Before being replaced by Kevin Williamson.
Right.
The 699499 one.
Oh, that's the bit from 28 Days Later. That's part of the poem.
No. Director of Heart Eyes, Josh Rubin, is a founding producer for the Woodstock Comedy Festival.
Right.
His debut feature, Scare Me, was also filmed near the Woodstock area, and the Woodstock Music Festival took place in 69, 94 and 99.
Ah,
Getting
yes.
tenders on it. I saw 28 Days Later this week.
We'll talk about that in a minute as well.
And then the honorary feast, Heart Eyes, takes place on Valentine's Day, also known as the Feast of Saint Valentine. The day originated as a feast day honouring a martyr named Valentine.
A feast day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always like to feast on Valentine's Day, don't you?
Don't know what you're talking about.
No.
So anyway, so there you go.
No.
So the film the curtains open and then the viewers are told that it's a film called Heart Eyes.
Yeah.
Peter,
What would you like to know?
without giving anything, I mean, there's not a lot to give away, but would you like to give
Okay,
us?
so it's really straightforward. This
Yes.
is the mashing together of two genres
Yeah.
for a very specific reason.
That's right.
This is a romantic comedy and a slasher horror
100%.
blended together.
Yes,
I would say, actually, with a relative degree of success.
I agree.
I think anyone who likes romantic comedies
Yes.
would get the romantic comedy joy from
Absolutely.
it. And anyone who likes horror
Yeah.
would get the horror element of
And
it.
from a completely different angle to Companion, because Companion, if you think about it, does exactly the same job as well.
I
Companion
don't actually think it was a too different a type of...
well, they're two different genres of movies.
Yes.
Two different genres of horror, should I say.
Yeah, absolutely. But the romantic comedy side
Same
of
idea.
things were there in both.
And the comedy element of it, so that you've got romance, comedy, and horror all mixed together in both these films.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
So our story starts in a coffee shop.
It does.
And basically, there is our starlet lady hero.
Yep.
human.
Old round face.
The old round face, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. That she is unlucky in love and
Yep.
is single on Valentine's Day again.
Yeah.
And then she orders the most revolting coffee you've ever heard in
She
your
does.
entire
It's a
life.
wicker macca mickey mucky with extra sugar and all sorts of things in
Yeah,
it. Yeah, exactly.
and one pump and all
Yes.
that type of stuff.
Yes.
And
Half a slurp
and then
of
she
that.
goes to take her coffee, and randomly, some
Out of nowhere.
very handsome, tall young man.
Yes. Young
It
man.
wasn't her coffee. It was
No.
his blooming
So
coffee.
it just so happened they are the only people that they thought were the only people ever to order this drink. That it must be some serendipitous. It must be a sign from the gods.
on St. Valentine's,
Yes.
Valentine's feast day.
Until the person behind the counter goes, actually, it's quite a common order.
Yeah, we do loads of them every day. Which again, a brilliant comedy. And then there's a whole kind of slapstick scene and
Yes.
blah blah blah. And they kind of have this fancy each other and then her mate is just like, oh yeah, but you can't really kind of go on a date or do anything today because she's getting fired today.
Yeah.
And so then we're going to the work scene and
Yeah.
like the work scene, it's jewelry business, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought
I
that
did
was quite a nice little touch.
I actually giggled to myself when that
me
came
too.
about.
And then she's part of the marketing department, and she puts together a shower of a shit pitch.
Oh yes.
And the owner of the jewelry company is basically, she says, "I'm not going to fire you,
Yeah.
but you've got to be better. And
right.
to help you get better, we've brought in this consultant who happens to be a really handsome young man who
Coffee
drinks
slurping.
shit coffee."
Yes.
And there we go. Then the romantic elements.
So
side of this.
realistically, it is basically a 1990s
Scream.
rom-com. It's a
Yeah.
1990s rom-com that happens to have turned into a Scream movie. It's mashed together with a Scream movie as well. So it's basically Bridget Jones versus meets Scream.
Yeah.
It's got all the elements that you'd want from a 1990s rom-com. It's got all the humour, the elements, and it could be set in the 1990s quite easily.
So when it started rolling and started getting into the film,
Yes.
I was thinking, this is fucking niche.
Yes.
I mean, they've basically made a film for 1 week of the
No.
year, and
Valentine's night.
and to a very specific type of film watcher.
Yes.
And I was just like, I wonder if this is going to make the top 10.
Yeah.
Pardon me, I'm so shit on you. And and then as the film kind of went on, I did kind of relax more with it.
Yes.
It's a bit Scooby-Doo, isn't
It's
it?
very. Scooby-Doo is one of the first films I used as a reference on the way home to it.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's incredibly Scooby-Doo. And yet again, on the other hand, some of the death scenes, some of the killing scenes are quite brutal.
Oh, yeah, and
In
the aftermath
in a
is...
beautiful way, which I applaud, wholeheartedly. But what I've done is they've been able to cherry pick the cheese from a 1990s rom-com with an element of some proper good humour within it mixed in as well, with a little bit of sort of Renaissance horror from the likes of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
So
tell me about the heart-shaped heart eyes dude.
So what you have here is you have, and it's exactly what we were discussing before. The director of this was set up to do a Scream movie. So what we have here is we have a Scream movie, just with more humour in it, with more references going all the way through it as well. So that's a connection. However, the actor is the son of a very famous actor.
Which actor? The heart eyes actor?
The
handsome coffee drinker.
The handsome coffee drinker is the son of a very famous actor who won an Oscar with Tom Cruise. Any idea who it is?
No.
If I would say, show me the money.
Oh, seriously?
Yes.
Ladies Love? No.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
That's what I said.
Yes. Ladies love James, apparently. Cool James. Hello, Cool J.
Yeah.
No, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son.
No, it's not.
Apparently so.
But Cuban he's not 6'3" and very handsome. He's very handsome, but is it, producer? Step in and help us. Is that a fact?
Well,
Is that real?
We'll come back to it in a moment.
Do that, just in case.
It may be fake news. It may be fake news, but that's what I was under the impression that was it. So
He looks like someone from what was that? The Netflix period drama thing.
oh yeah, he definitely looks like from Bridgerton.
Yeah.
He's going to jump off a horse and speak with a very plumbing English accent, take his shirt off, and girls are going to go.
What's the name of the character who's the good-looking boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just told you, tall, handsome.
No, Patrick, they've got the whole rundown completely wrong in IMDb. So if you go on one of the pictures, it will show a picture of him, and then you'll be able to backtrack his name through that way.
Just because some of them don't
I couldn't
have
find them
pictures.
anywhere.
Yeah. Anyway, so the film is an incredibly simple plot. What you have here is you've got a serial killer that is killing couples. Okay, and the joke all the way through the film is that these two are technically not a couple at the moment. They are hedging towards being a couple, and they definitely are interested in each other, but they're purposely not getting it on or getting it together just in case the mad slasher kills them. And there's a fantastic moment where the slasher's obviously going through a crowd and he's killing couples because it's Valentine's Day. And our heroic couple are running away from this devastation and going, "We're not even together." Which there's a certain level of self-awareness, like you would have done with Cabin in the Woods, which makes you feel comfortable as a viewer because you know that they know, and you know that they know that they know that it's not a serious movie, it's not a serious slasher movie, and it's not particularly a groundmaking movie. I would put it in the same category as Valentine's Day. And all those classic 1990s, late 80s, 1990s slasher movies, Valentine's Day, what's it? I know what you did last summer. All those, those movies.
And actually, I came out.
Tick and tick.
I came out actually quite happy and
Yes.
thought it was actually quite a nice use of 1 hour 37 minutes, which
I
is
agree with you.
6 minutes shorts for a horror.
Yeah,
film,
I
but
agree.
it's,
And I definitely this just would be my backup of horror movies when there's nothing else
it'll
on.
be in your locker.
Exactly. I know it's going to work. I can just press play, like I know what we did last summer. Also, do you know who's in? I know what you did in last summer. Do you know who's in that?
I can't remember.
If I were to turn around to you and say Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, don't do this because then I'm just going to say I don't remember. Dallas Buyers Club.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
McConaughey.
No, the other one.
Which one's that?
Jared Leto.
Oh.
He's in it, looking like a human being. As Jared Leto never
Yeah.
looks like human anymore now.
Yeah.
He basically always looks like a character.
Yeah.
And yet, and it's funny because in Texas Chain Massacre 3, Matthew McConaughey was in that.
Wow.
Yes. It's how they all start though, isn't it?
Anyway, should we score this film?
Shall we score it? I'm giving it a 7.2.
Oh yeah, I'm giving. I learned this week that it's okay to give something a 6.7.
Why not?
And still
I
quite
still like
enjoy
it.
it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that was something I didn't know before, but
No.
it's no better than a 6.7. But actually, it was quite a comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch.
It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to change your life.
Yeah,
Even with a lower score, it doesn't mean you're not going to watch it again, I don't think.
agreed. There we go. How interesting.
How would you make it better? Put Cuba Gooding Jr.
No,
in
it just does what it does. Yeah.
Is Cuba Gooding in? Is his dad?
Did we get a fact?
Yes, so he is the eldest of Cuba Gooding Jr.'s children. He was born in 96. He's got a brother called Spencer who was born in 1994 and a sister called Piper who was born in 2005. I believe... Oh no, it's not a half-sibling. I was going to say I believe it's a half-sibling, but it's not.
Oh, interesting.
It might be actually.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
So that was our cinema venture. Well, my cinema venture this week.
It was indeed, yes. Now we went to see Companion again, which we've tipped off that. So we've got some facts, haven't we?
And
for
we're not doing facts
heart,
this week.
eyes.
Out of interest,
Nikki.
would you give it a Chainsaw Award?
Oh.
Do you think it's Chainsaw Award worthy?
One or two kill shots in it, definitely. Particularly the one with the
Yeah, the
with
wheeljack.
The wheeljack, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That alone is worth a Chainsaw Award. I think.
You almost stood up and applauded
I
that.
did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just quickly, with Mason Goodin,
Yes.
he has appeared in a few of the Scream films, and he will be appearing in Scream 7.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got form.
So two detectives investigating the Heart Eyes killer murders.
Yes. Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. And what's that a reference to?
Well, obviously that's a reference to the Fast and Furious franchise.
It
So
is.
you've got Dwayne Johnson and you've got Dwayne Johnson and you've got Transporter Man. English, cool blimey governor. Oh, Snatch. Oh, that sort of thing. Statham. Him. That's right. Statham. Oh, Jason.
Oh, God, I think
This is why sometimes I just let him go.
You just have to. I mean, it's a wonder to watch, isn't it?
It is sometimes.
If you've never seen James, watch this on YouTube. That was something.
I know, the Oscar's on its way. The movie showing at the drive-in, did you see what movie that was? It was a 1940s movie.
Wasn't it Cary Grant? Massive shoulder pads, on the phone.
And how does he talk? Cool, bye me, governor.
He does indeed. Hello, darling.
It was his Girl Friday, which stars Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell. The writer of this film also wrote Freaky, which is a 2020 film.
As in Freaky Friday.
It's a Wonderful Knife, 2023, and Time Cut, 2024. And there's a director cameo in it.
Right.
Josh Rubin. He's the man at the drive-in that yells for someone to call 911.
Okay. Not a big cameo.
No, but it's still a cameo.
Well,
Still a cameo.
More cameos
That's
than
what it's
you've
called, a
had.
cameo.
Word up.
Nice. Brilliant. Right, any reviews on this?
I don't know. Lawrence has sent a review, but I haven't listened, so I don't know what it's on.
I think Lawrence sent a review for Companion.
Okay, well, we'll come back to it then.
Oh, we could do it now.
No, because it's not review time.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Didn't mean
Producer.
Didn't need to
Yeah, exactly.
step out of my...
Any more facts for us,
No,
producer?
that's it.
That's it. Okay, so we've got the
Oh,
score.
is it time for reviews now?
It's time for the review of either one. One favourite or my one. It's not our wonderful listeners just yet.
Okay.
Oh, let's
We
talk.
saved-
Can we
we
talk about
saved them till the
iRobot?
end.
Oh, okay.
iRobot?
Do you want to do? No, shut up. Do you want to do Moana? Do you want to talk about that?
I'll tip off Moana quickly.
Okay.
Right. So I've never seen this film before, and I was inspired by the fact that there's number 2 out at the moment at the cinema. Now I've been reliably informed that number 2 is in pale significance to the first one, and on Sunday we watched Moana. With The Rock in it.
You're welcome.
Exactly. Yes. It's got Dwayne Johnson singing in it.
Yeah.
No,
Is it-
rapping.
Rappy. It's an animated Disney adventure movie, all to do with the spirits of the sea, and being in love with nature, and just cracking on with life. Really, that's it. Really. So it's It is a beautiful, beautiful animated movie. The actual level of the animation, I was really, really impressed with. I'm not usually drawn into the more sentimental element of the Disney into the Disney movies, but on this occasion I think it worked quite well. It wasn't overly sentimental. It was quite sweet. The relationship with the characters and the sea worked really, really well for me, because the sea kind of turned into almost a character of its own, very similar to you have the character here as the flying carpet in Aladdin, or
I've got a fact about this.
or the cape in Doctor Strange. It's got a very similar sort of a level up to that. I'm gonna give it a strong 8 as an animated Disney movie. I really, really enjoyed it. It was very light-hearted, very funny. I thought the songs worked really, really well. So yeah, it ticked all the boxes for me. Perfect Sunday movie. Not too sure why they made a second one.
Oh.
Obviously,
you
money.
You have to go and see it and find out.
Money, obviously.
It's been in the charts for a very long
That's
time.
right. So,
But my
yes.
fact is, it's not the highest grossing animation of all time.
What isn't?
Moana.
No, it's not. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
Still can't get my head around that.
So it's actually got a 95% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Wow.
And quick Disney fact.
Yes.
You'll notice in every Disney movie that somewhere, normally it's on a car reg, there is A113.
A113. A113. Okay. I was trying to figure.
No, it's not a name. So it's actually, the animators do this on purpose. They are paying tribute to where they started their careers. A1-13 was the animation classroom at the California Institute of the Arts in character animation programs, and the chief officer at Pixar and Disney Animations explained that. So you'll always see it. It's normally on a car
that's
reg,
quite nice, isn't it?
or a door if there's no cars in it.
It's a bit like in every single Spielberg movie, you'll always see a shooting star.
Okay, brilliant.
Every single Spielberg movie.
Awesome.
To the point where he had to hide it in certain movies because he was aware that it was such an iconic sort of symbol that this was a Steven Spielberg movie. When he made more serious movies, things like Cape Fear, for instance, with Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte, he did it in a throwaway sort of way, just in the background, because obviously it was a much more he was doing a lot more Disney-esque movies at the time, and he wanted to park his way a little bit away from that.
Excellent.
There you go.
Brilliant.
Thanks for that.
We should have an episode of factoids, shouldn't we?
Do you think so?
Next
Little
time there's
Easter
a
eggs.
shit film at the cinema like this, we should just do that instead. That's much better.
Sorry, just quickly.
Yes.
6.7 on IMDb for Heart Eyes. Which
Okay.
is pretty much what Peter gave it.
Right. Okay. Good.
Was what Peter gave it, not
Yes.
pretty much.
And what was our total score at the end?
6.9.
Okay.
We can handle that.
That's fair enough.
I think it's a
I don't
strong score.
I think it's going to stay there because I don't think anyone else is going to review it, are they?
I don't know. Sophie might do it. She wants to see it. So, what other films are we reviewing, Nikki? What's next, Nikki? What's next for our viewers and listeners?
You and Peter had a hot date on Sunday morning, didn't you?
Oh, I went to see Wild Robots.
Oh, I thought Peter went as
No,
well.
Peter.
No, I know. I just saw it on my flight out, my flight home, and then when I got home, and then once again.
Oh, and then okay. So Wild Robot, yes, please.
I didn't get the invite for Sunday.
I didn't either.
So, Wild Robots. Peter had seen this before quite some time ago. I can't remember what score you gave it.
I don't think I did.
I think you did give it. Didn't
No,
you?
I think Peter said he was going to wait.
I was going to wait for you.
Seen it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you it's going to be a big number
Oh.
because I absolutely adored it.
Okay.
And I don't know whether you do or you don't.
Right. Okay. So, yet again, I think it's a Disney again. Animated, fantastic animation, beautiful 3D rendering on the animation. Worked really, really well. I thought in this case, I thought the style of the animation took a little bit of while for me to get my head around initially, because it wasn't done in the normal crisp, overly digitised fashion.
Don't you think it felt a bit Japanese anime? Don't you think it was a bit
100%.
like What's Matey's House? That was that kind of...
Yes.
The backdrops were so beautifully painted, and then it had quite traditional animation over the top of it.
Very much, almost in a very similar way to the Spider-Verse's movies, where they've mixed styles of animation together and so on and so forth. Which really, really well.
Yeah.
So the story itself is not overly complicated. It gets a little bit weird near the end, I think, and there's one or two things that just joint me just slightly near the end, but we won't go too much into that because it's a kids' movie. But what we have here is you've got the good old-fashioned classic movie of a robot landing in the middle of a jungle and trying to figure himself out, basically. Like every schoolboy does, really. So at the start of this film, you've got this crate that lands on this island.
Did you have him as a boy?
All the time. This crate lands in this island, and it's heavily vegetated island with foxes and lots of different weird selection of animals, I must say. I'm not quite sure whether it's a forest or a jungle. With this bit of foliage on this island, but everybody seems to get on to a certain extent with each other. But overall, this movie is very, very clever in the way that it breaks down certain barriers. For instance, communication levels breaks down really, really well. That explains how the robot's able to talk to the animals, so it's not just crowbarred in at the end. He can talk to animals. The relationship forging works really, really well because you're never quite sure. The relationship between the characters is not as obvious, and it's not as, you don't get hit over the head with it as simply as you would do in any other animated movie where
it changes throughout the movie, doesn't it?
Does.
There is lilt towards motherhood. There is the change from AI robots being soulless to developing a soul. These are the things that I absolutely loved about it. It was just for me. It was the interactions between all the characters. You've got a gosling, a fox, and a robot who are basically the main protagonists in this, and the interaction between the three of them and how that changes over time. And for me, that was sensationally done.
Yeah, it was. It was an incredibly well where they were able to introduce all the other characters as little cameos. You got Matt Berry there as a I think he's a beaver. You've got.
He's a good beaver.
He's a great beaver. You got Ahara, who plays the most amazing rodent with all of her children.
Oh, the possum.
The possum, which is absolutely fantastic. So you immediately are drawn into every single character's personality. And you don't doubt it for a second that they're all real. The tears are real all the way through the movie, where there's certain elements where there's tears of joy, there's tears of sadness, and there's also tears of elation where certain things happen.
But even just an almost static scene of emotion. That's one of the moments where I cried on the plane, was when the robot is just in a very emotional moment and changes colour.
Yeah.
And it just sent me. It was just like a heartwarming. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
No, it works really, really very, very well. I'm giving it an 8.9.
Wow. 8.9.
Peter.
I'm giving it a 9.9.
9.9.
It is one of the best things I've ever seen ever, and probably the best animation I've ever seen.
I mean, you love your animation anyway. You totally adored the whole Spider-Verse thing.
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely. I think you can do things with animation that don't work
you can dispel all sorts of reality, and be drawn into so many more personalities.
Whenever you're talking about animations, you always get that there's overtones for the parents.
Yeah.
This animation just works on so many different levels.
Yeah.
It's smart, it's beautiful, it's elegant. The art in it is just absolutely phenomenal. But I just thought the story was just, like as you said, very, very simple, but it's
a modern generation to me. Sorry to interrupt, but for me personally, I walked away saying it was a modern modern Wall-E.
Yeah, so for me, what I was going to say was, it's a beautiful thing to have a film about a robot, which is actually a film about humanity.
Of course it is.
And that's what I loved about it.
That's where the Wall-E's collection comes in as well. And a very similar idea, almost storyline as well, to humanity saving the planet, that sort of thing, which worked out quite well as well. Anyway, so beautiful film. If you got a chance to go and see it at the cinema, Sunday is perfect day.
It's a perfect Sunday film.
Take your kids. I didn't mind the other kids talking. In fact, the kids were better behaved than a lot of the adults were, quite frankly, in the cinema. But that's another story completely. I really, really enjoyed it. Go and see it in the cinema.
I'm really glad you liked it. I love it.
Yes, good.
That gives it a score of 9.4.
Yes, and rightly deserved. Rightly deserved.
It was nominated for 102 awards.
None of them chainsaw.
And has won 61. Yeah, unfortunately, no Chainsaw Awards. But it got Critics' Choice Award winner for Best Animated Feature, and loads. It's won loads of awards. It got some Golden Globe nominations, Oscar nominations, and I'm not surprised at all.
If you're going to watch something this week, watch that.
Yeah. Would you like some facts?
Yes, please.
So according to author Peter Brown, the inspiration for the wild robot...
I thought you were going to say orthopedic.
That's pretty much what I thought she said as well.
Came from a sketch he did of a robot in a tree. He then asked the question, what would an intelligent robot do in the wilderness?
To me, he was like the mini of robots.
What are you saying? He?
She.
You saw it as a he.
He. She's. Well, I didn't. I keep saying he. I didn't. No, she was definitely. It's definitely a female character.
Yeah.
As in the mother.
Yeah. Well, I saw that. Yeah. I mean,
and her voice as well.
Yes.
But she, or they.
They. Let's call it
they.
I was just surprised you said he.
Yeah.
Because I just thought it was just such a mother.
Just a throwaway
expression.
They, to me, were the mini of all robots. The way they were designed. It was.
The mini of all robots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's the animated movie debut of Pedro Pascal.
Of course, he's a fox, isn't he?
Yes.
And it's the first non-Disney animated film nominated for the Academy Award for Best Original Score since The Adventures of Tintin, The Secrets of the Unicorn in 2011.
Oh, there you go.
And that scene of the butterfly wall is just...
Oh, it's lovely.
It's a thing of stunning beauty.
It is lovely.
Yeah. Anyway, there we go. Let's move on.
There you go. So that's Wild Robot. We've had 2 animated movies. We've had a slasher movie, which is pretty much all the slasher movies all mixed up together and put into a nice great big bundle and called Valentine's Day, which is great. What else have you got, Nikki?
We are going to listen to a review from Lawrence.
Right.
Oh, it's my favourite bit.
On a weekly basis, we like to encourage our listeners and viewers to get in contact with us and send in their reviews. And today is no exception.
Get comfy for 1 minute and 35, Peter.
Oh, yes.
You ready?
Is this 1.5 speed?
No.
Good evening, pundits. I hope you're
Hi, Lawrence.
It's Lawrence here. I went to see Companion last week with Sophie, and she brought along her little companion, James 2.0. He was on his very good, very best behaviour. I know you didn't want to say too much about it when you did your review, but I'd seen the trailer, so it gave away the main kind of concept of what's going to be going on here.
Yes, it did.
I'm quite a techie at heart in my job, and someone at work actually had been talking about the future of AI, which we're all hearing so much about these days. And one of the use cases being sort of companions, in the older generation, to reduce loneliness, etc. It's a great kind of use case for this sort of technology in the future. Let's hope it kind of plays out like this to a certain extent, obviously. If you like Blade Runner,
Really?
which I love, and the overall sort of concept of these Nexus 6 pleasure models, you know what I'm kind of getting at here. Some of those concepts are sort of threaded into this, but obviously in a very, very different way to they are in Blade Runner. I particularly enjoyed the fact when they were sort of pairing up these things with their mobile phones. I really enjoyed it. The setup was nice and short. It got straight into the story really quick. And even if you have seen the trailer, there are a few twists and turns along the way. So again, great little film just to sit down with. It's sort of an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. So it ticks a number of boxes. I would give it a 7.6. Hope you're well. Good
score.
Work. Speak soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Lawrence. There
He
you
also
go.
added a comment after that and said, also add it would make a great Valentine's film.
It would actually, yeah, absolutely. And in fact, both films that we've spoken about with a mixture of genres are both sort of Valentine's comedy related.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if it's not going well, then you can to use the candle, won't you?
Exactly. If in doubt, use the candle.
Exactly.
That's what I say.
Thank you, Lawrence. As always, very eloquent and very intelligent.
So much better than us.
So much better than us.
Much better than us.
Yeah.
What else have we got, Nikki?
It is time for Peter to review his homework.
Right.
Okay.
So, would you like to backtrack and explain why I've given you this homework?
100%, James. So, for any of you who don't know James very well, basically, James saw that there was a film coming out called DogMan, and remembered there was another film called DogMan.
Yes.
And basically set me that as my homework.
That's correct.
And then tried to put some reason behind it, basically saying it was directed by Luc Besson.
That's right.
And it's not like it is directed by Luc Besson. Absolutely right. But you had to give me a reason as to why I should see it, not just the fact that you think you're really fucking smart because you found 2 films with the same name, just with 1 space between the 6 letters.
He's almost angry, isn't he?
No, I'm angry because I had to watch it.
Yeah.
It's not your classic. Let me speak and I'll tell you. It's not your classic Luc Besson, is it? Is it?
Carry on.
Okay, it has. Okay. What you're going to say is it has a quirk to it, and it is super duper unusual. And yes, that is Luc Besson's kind of thing. I don't think this is one of his masterpieces, if I'm totally honest with you. The story is, we start off with a drag queen in a wheelchair with knee braces.
Like every good story starts.
Yeah, and how do they end up in the police cell? I've forgotten. At the very beginning of the film.
She was pulled over. She was in the car. She got pulled over.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and she
literally just got pulled over.
Yeah, and was just rude as fuck to the
Exactly.
and basically
in a very nonchalant sort of like.
Yeah, and when she's pulled over in a truck,
yes,
the policeman asked to open the back of the truck.
That's right.
And she says, "Don't worry, they won't hurt you unless you do anything to me."
That's right.
And basically the back of this truck is full of all of the dogs.
All in the world.
Literally all of the dogs.
Exactly.
There is lots and lots.
So many breeds.
Dogs. Yeah. Anyway, so then we rewind
That's right.
to
You backtrack.
Oh, sorry. He ends up in a police cell,
That's
and
right.
we meet the psychotherapist that has basically been charged with looking after him and finding out what the hell he is and what he does and why he does it.
Yes.
And then we're backing track to his childhood as to why he became Dogman.
That's right.
And there is a quite harrowing story about a father and his brutal treatment of his wife and children, and what's his name? His name is Douglas.
That's right.
Douglas is the result of
Not
this. He's certainly not Douglas.
No.
Basically, yeah, he is the result of this incredibly brutal father, and so we learn a bit about the history of Dogman, and then it kind of flips forward again, and then we're into what Dogman kind of does and why he is Dogman, and his kind of superpowers and
yes,
he's
got superpowers.
He's got control over dogs.
They love him.
They love him.
They do love him.
Now, I have to say that I didn't think I was going to be able to watch this film because I have 3 dogs. And as soon as you put this film on, your dogs go fucking spastic at the television screen.
That's what doors are used for.
We don't have any doors.
Right.
So
Outside?
the dogs. Well, yeah. Okay.
I mean, you, not the dogs.
My dogs went absolutely mental when we started watching this. So yeah, I had to watch it when they weren't in the house.
Yes.
So I did that. So if you're dog owners, this isn't a film for you.
Well, it is. Just don't have the dogs in the same room.
Or have a door.
Yeah.
Or have a house.
Invest in a door.
That'd be a good thing. So he has trained all these dogs to do different things, and there's quite an amusing a little vignette with a South American drug lord.
Yep.
And a Alsatian.
Yep.
And a some sort of brush-haired terrier.
Yes.
Which is
and he's making cakes
and
as well.
a mobile phone. Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely. So and then basically it's the story of what Douglas does with his dogs, and you can add whatever you like.
Add whatever you like.
Add whatever you like. What would you add to this?
To me, this is the perfect mixture of a Luc Besson movie with Equalizer element all the way through it as well. So our main character is basically an Equalizer character, and people come to him with their woes, and they go, "Oh,
yeah,
I'm being harassed for blackmail or something, you go to DogMan and DogMan takes care of it for you in an Equalizer sort of style. But he just happens to be dressed as Marilyn Monroe or Edith Piaf even sometimes.
Yeah.
And the dogs take care of it for you.
Yeah.
If in doubt, believe in dog.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. So, carry on.
There was just too much about this film which didn't hook me, and
really?
and you're a nicer person than I am, and you're a much doggier person than I am,
right?
And I can understand why you probably quite enjoyed this, but I just didn't.
Really?
I just thought there were better Besson films for every element of this, and
I thought it ticked all the Luc Besson elements that you could possibly. I mean, look, I watched Leon last night in homage.
I mean, Leon is one of the most beautiful films you'll ever see in your entire life.
But if you watch it again, you'll be able to see all the little peaks and troughs that DogMan has given you.
This is what I'm saying. It's got the same pattern of a usual Luc Besson movie, but there are better versions of it in every other film that he's done. Oh, I thought this was the runt of the litter.
Oh, I like it.
I didn't enjoy the main character. I didn't enjoy Dogman. I didn't think the story. I didn't think the plot of him. The journey that he goes on with the dogs was deep enough. I didn't think there was enough plot in it.
Right.
I didn't think that the history section of it I thought was done really well, and the actual creation of Dogman I thought was really, really good.
Yeah.
But the police cell stuff I didn't really buy. I didn't buy the relationship between them. I don't understand why he would discuss everything with her rather than anybody else. There was a lot of untied knots for me.
Yeah. I mean, I personally felt that virtually every Luc Besson movie is like an illustrated novel. And very stylized, or very manga in its style. Virtually every single movie could be an animated movie.
Was he Fifth Element?
Yes.
So I mean that if you take Fifth Element as a scene, as in a stage, the depth of everything in it is just absolutely sensational. The costumes, the actual landscapes, the vehicles, the living pods, the monsters. There's so much more in that. It's so much better.
Dogman is a lot more of a low-key movie, and it is coming definitely from the left of centre rather than from a sci-fi commercial sort of element to it. But I felt that the lead actor carried this movie so well, and I've got a lot of time for this actor, and I've been following his career now, and to me, I think he's one of those actors that is going to turn out to be an incredible character actor as his career continues. So I'm very, very excited about his future.
I just didn't buy him. I'm sorry, didn't buy it.
That's what it's all about, though. That's what it's all about.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yep. I personally, I'm going to give it an 8.9.
Okay.
You're going to give it like a 6.3 or something.
Oh, 6.6.
6.6.
It's not. It's just didn't quite get there for me.
Right. Okay, which is a shame.
But I can see. I mean, because like when you like a concept, then you will roll with it.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as I started watching this, I was like, oh, this is just such a James concept. This is just. I knew you were gonna love it, and I just couldn't get the hook. Just didn't get the hook.
Okay. Good. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Simple as that. Right.
Would you like some facts?
Yes, please.
Oh, I had a score.
You just gave it.
Yeah, but so did he.
Yeah. Oh. It makes it 7.75.
Oh, it's not going to be on the board.
No,
it's not going to be on the board. Never mind.
It doesn't deserve to be on the board.
So, in total,
Yes.
15 dog trainers
Right.
were needed to get all dogs necessary for the movie.
Imagine that was a shit show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Already trained dogs were preferred to avoid wasting time on training new dogs. Before shooting the dog scenes, Caleb spent 3 days with the trainers and their dogs to get comfortable with the canines.
Yeah, he was very comfortable with them.
Sounds like the perfect job,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
I'd spend 3 days with the dog.
In a dress.
Director Luc Besson said he first thought of the movie after reading a news story about a 5-year-old boy whose family put him in a cage. It made him think of the trauma the boy must have endured and how he must have overcome it.
Wow, by killing everybody.
Yeah.
Shooting took place between May and July of 2022, mostly in France, with scenes on location shot in June 2022 in Newark, in Jersey.
Newark. Nice.
And the movie was originally supposed to be released mid-April 2023, but positive feedback from buyers at the European film market pushed the distribution to aim for a fall release, as in autumn,
Yep.
in the hopes of securing a premiere at one of the fall film festivals. And this is what eventually happened. It was selected to compete for the Golden Lion at the 2023 Venice Film Festival.
So it's got some calibre then. Good. I'm glad to hear it.
It is 6.8 on IMDb.
Okay, that's a fair score. That's a fair score. That is a fair.
Yeah, I
score.
think you're going to have to love the subject matter to get it over a 7.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It is 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. And if you want to watch it, it's available to watch on YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Sky Store, and Amazon Prime.
That hurt, that is.
I know.
59%
I could see the
on Rotten
knife going
Tomatoes.
in slowly, and so could Peter. Should we set Peter some other homework?
Yes, we shall.
Oh God. Don't be vindictive because I didn't like your film.
No, I've got a beautiful film for you.
Oh.
I mean, I've veered away slightly from horror. Oh, talk about homework. Before we go on to your homework for next week, we realised briefly this week, after watching the trailer for 28 Years Later, you had never seen 28 Days Later.
No.
Would you like to give us like a 2-minute review of 28 Days Later, and did it hold up to your expectations, and do you think it's aged that well, bearing in mind it's 28 years old?
Yeah. My knowledge of this is like non-existent.
Yes.
So apart from the fact that you reminded me that it had brain help me, main actor Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
And so he's a very, very young actor in this.
It was his first ever film.
Oh, was it? Okay. So the grainy old-fashioned cinematography of this did come as a bit of a surprise, but actually it fits really nicely with the film subject, and that works really quite nicely. It's basically a zombie movie, and it is based on the release of some chimpanzees from a testing centre.
Got the rage.
It's the worst name for a
disease in a monkey.
Pandemic ever.
Yeah.
And basically humanity is pretty much killed off, isn't it? And and Cillian Murphy is.
Well, he's in a coma, isn't he? He wakes up 28 days later, hence the name of the movie.
Yes, correct. And he wakes up and he's in a hospital, and he starts off thinking that he is the only human being on the planet, and it kind of dawns on him, and then he's just like, oh shit, what's going on? And then he finds a couple of others, and then they go on a...
Finds Miss Moneypenny, doesn't he?
Yeah. And they go on a road trip. She's brilliant in this, by the way. She's absolutely amazing. And they... Why do they travel? It's to see someone...
Christopher Ellison.
Yeah.
What happens is that there is a broadcast...
Oh, that's right, yeah. And they're going to try and go to the source of the broadcast because they're saying that they've got a cure for the thing, and they feel that they need to get there. But they know that it's going to be an absolutely treacherous journey to get there.
So it's Manchester.
Yes, I mean, yeah. we're not trying to exclude anyone from this podcast, James. Listenership is hard enough at the best of times. We just knocked out a whole city. Anyway, so they go on this journey, and then they do I say any more?
Oh yeah, dude, it's 28 years late. It's 28 years old.
28 years
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't talk about stuff that's shown in the trailer, so it's just
no.
like. Anyway, so they come across a manor house, which is basically in barricaded,
That's right.
and it's got like a group of guys in there who are militia.
Well, they're soldiers, aren't
and
they?
and they've protected themselves from the zombies,
That's right.
and then these guys go into that enclosure, and then the story takes a dark turn.
That's right. And what I love about this film is that up until that point, the baddies were the zombies.
Yeah.
And then it flips completely,
Totally
and then
on
all of a
its
sudden you
head.
realise actually human beings are the baddies, not the disease itself.
Absolutely. And then the realization, and actually it's quite a long realization, and you sit with it for an uncomfortable amount of time.
Yeah.
But you realise why why those characters are in the enclosure, and what that kind of represents and what's going to happen to them. is really quite barbaric and brutal. And sitting there watching it thinking, fuck.
No, this film is an incredibly important horror movie for all horror movies. This film is, first of all, the most important thing is it introduces or hammers home. I'm sure there was certain elements of it in the past, but this really, really hammered home the fast, vicious zombie. Up until that point, your zombies were traditionally slow
hand grazers.
Yeah, a little bit docile, but if they got a hold of you, you're in trouble. But on this occasion, you had this ravenous zombie, which was a game changer. And then since then, World War Z, for instance, that's got ravenous zombies in it.
Yeah.
All the better zombie movies. You don't get walking around docile zombies in any movies anymore. Since that point, that was a cutting point off.
Oh, The Cabin in the Woods had a family of slow zombies.
Yeah, I know, but I think that was just taking the. Yeah. We all know why we were there with it. They were there for that was a retro moment, wasn't it? Really, and also the beautiful Brendan, what's his name, the cab driver.
I can't remember what his surname is. But...
His depiction as the most doting father, and then that scene where he changes through that one drop of blood from the raven into his eye. To me, that's just a masterclass in acting. It's absolutely you don't get that level of acting very often in a horror movie.
Oh, you should go and see more theatre. They're starting to show it in the cinema.
Are they? It's not a film though, is it? It's not a film. So we can't do that.
Brendan Gleeson.
Thank you very much. He was absolutely incredible in that film.
Brilliant, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
And Cillian Murphy was also, for his debut movie, smashed it and, worked really, really well on that as well.
I don't think everything in it dated very well. It didn't annoy me. There were certain times where I was just thinking, oh, this does feel like a bit of a tired movie.
Really?
But generally, in the whole, the cinematography kind of worked pretty well.
And another thing that it broke the barriers down for as well was the introduction of barren cities. Because they did all their filming at sort of 3 o'clock in the morning. Played around with the filter and filmed it in the summer. Played around with the filter to make it sort of look like daylight.
Right. Okay.
So you literally had double decker buses on set, not on set, but actually on location in the middle of London, turned upside down, and you never got that normally unless it was on green screen or so. That to me was these are really, really important times in movie making, I think.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I've never seen it before, but I'm glad I have seen it now.
So look forward to it.
It was actually released in 2002, so it's 23 years old.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you have it. That's 28 days later. I'm really pleased. What mark are you going to give it? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's got to be an 8.
It's got to be an 8.
Got to be. Yeah, 100%. And that moment where they go shopping in the supermarket and the track from Grandaddy comes on.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, exactly. Anyway, brilliant film. We're reminiscing. Let's move forward. So I've missed the target with your homework this week, unfortunately. Let's see, can I rectify that this week?
No, listen. Yes, sorry. Yes, carry on.
Right. So this week I'm going to give you a film that I started watching without knowing anything about, and then I had to turn around to my wife and go, "Oh my God, this is that movie," and she went, "Yes, this is that movie," and I sat down gleefully for the next 2 hours or however long. I have no idea how long this film is. How long is it?
2 hours 10 minutes.
I have no idea, and I was so disappointed when this film ended. Okay, it's a brand new release. It's been coveted with lots of Oscar nominations and many awards as well. There's a little bit of controversy in reference to some backtracking in reference to the smear campaign towards 1 or 2 of the actors, because obviously they're all smearing each other to ensure that one climbs over the other to get that Oscar. Unfortunately, but the film is, how do you pronounce it again?
Emilia Perez.
Perez.
Is that out?
It's out.
It's
yes.
on Netflix.
Dude.
Right, okay.
Seriously, I was transfixed for the entire 2 hour and 10 minutes. And every half an hour, something new happened. I went, "Oh my God, this is brilliant." Seriously, it is fantastic.
Oh, this has got the green one from Guardians of the Galaxy in it, isn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And she is incredible.
Do you mean Zoe Saldana?
Yes.
That's what I said.
And there's also some really, really clever lines that introduces her as an actor.
Lions?
Lines. They're very not lions, because lions can't talk unless you're watching it. Yeah, unless you transcript it through it. Like a computer, maybe. Anyway, it's another story. But, very clever movie.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. Look forward to that.
Yes, I think it's on Netflix.
Just on Netflix if you have the subscription.
Well, have you seen Anora?
Yes. Lawrence and I reviewed it because you listened to the review.
I saw it this week.
What did you think?
I
It's
thought
it's like going to somebody's chalet.
it's yes, it's very very chalet.
Very chalet. Particularly in the first 10 minutes.
It's I thought it was really great. It's,
The music is incredible.
I mean, it's
It's filth.
The characters in it are just brilliant
Yes.
and just like so conflicting, and
Yeah.
the characters you think are going to be a certain
I know.
way aren't. I mean,
Yeah.
like one of the Ukraine. Not
Oh yeah, but
Ukraine,
he gets nominated. He's been nominated for an Oscar.
who?
The chap with the skinhead.
No, not him. The other one.
Oh, the one that's eating all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's just not what you expect him to be, and he's just
and
like
his character changes all the way through.
yeah, and he's just not very well, and it's just brilliant.
And he's unwell in the background all the time.
So
he's just unwell.
So I watched it with Pauline, and Pauline found the nudity in it.
I mean, it's extreme.
Yeah, she found it too much.
It's technically porn.
It's not.
Not as much as a brutalist.
It's not. Yeah, no, you got more
Yeah.
cock in the brute.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't find it upsetting at all. I found it very easy to watch, and and
Very funny, very light-hearted. She was incredible in that, I thought.
And I thought talking about the nudity side of it, I thought it was done artistically enough that it removed the sexual nature of it. To be honest with you,
I personally feel that what they did was they plastered so much on the screen, and they had it going on for such a longer time than you would do a normal sex scene in a film. It got to a point where it was titillated, and then it was like smirk funny because it was a little bit embarrassing, and then it was just quite normal after that. It was on the screen for such a long time.
Yeah. So Pauline turned around and said, "Is this good?" I went, "It's got like 7 Oscar nominations, mate. This is
Yeah.
brilliant." And she was just like, "I hope it gets good soon."
Yeah.
And she was basically just referring to the fact
Yeah.
that she wanted women to put up their clothes.
I really enjoyed the film.
I really enjoyed it too,
Very
absolutely.
clever written. Right, there you have it.
Yeah.
And we finished, producer.
What films are you watching next week?
We've got a Scream Unseen on Monday night, and I'm totally convinced it's got to be Monkey.
Hope so.
There's got to be Monkey.
So it's Bridget Jones.
I thought it was going to be Bridget Jones.
No, because that's out on tomorrow on Friday.
Exactly. Bridget Jones.
So they wouldn't do Scream Unseen, would they?
And I wasn't suggesting that was the Scream Unseen.
No, I was joking.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah,
So you're going to watch those two then?
that's right. Bridget Jones. And what else?
And
So you
Scream
can see
Unseen.
Bridget Jones.
Okay.
I'll go and see Moana too.
Okay, thanks for that.
I might go and see
sounds
The
good.
Wild Robot again.
Right.
How can people get in touch with us, Peter?
Oh, in touch with us
Yeah,
or watch us?
both.
Okay, well, they can get in touch with us on WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
They can DM us on Instagram. They
Sure.
can leave a message on our YouTube underneath our video.
Sure.
They can leave a message on our Facebook. If you know us personally, you can WhatsApp us and leave us a voice note of any films that you've watched.
That would be lovely.
Or you can, when you're streaming or downloading your podcast from the streaming platform that you use, there is a button that says message us, and you can message us on that. It's like a little text message, but it doesn't tell us who you are.
That's right.
So please do, or don't,
Right. Or
depending
don't.
on what.
And
Yeah.
I guess if you know where we record this, come along and give your reviews live.
I did actually invite one of our regular subscribers
Yes.
to come and join us this evening.
Did you?
I did, and
And
Leo
he couldn't
didn't
make it?
come.
And they said no.
There was no reason for him to not come.
Well, sometimes you don't want to sneak behind the velvet curtain, now, do you?
But
The
he
magic
already
might be
has.
gone.
I did in Anora.
Did he?
No, I did.
You did.
I wanted to sneak under the bed. Mind.
Would you like to prepare us out, Peter?
I just did.
That was. Can you
Crack
do
on.
proper papa, please?
Oh, this is good jazz. I like it.
Popcorn Pundits, week 68
Yes.
in the bag.
That was all over the